They call it protecting the faithful. They call it restoring the First Amendment. But if you look at the executive order signed this morning, it isn't a shield for religion. It is a sword for the state. Breaking reports from Washington confirm that President Donald Trump has officially established the Commission on Religious Liberty, a high-powered executive body tasked with dismantling decades of federal regulations that separate church and state. The White House press briefing framed this as a victory for the forgotten men and women of faith, promising to end the so-called persecution of religious organizations by the federal government. But from a geopolitical perspective, this is not about prayer in schools. It is about power in the polls. This commission is the final payment on a political debt owed to the evangelical coalition that secured the 2024 election victory. By institutionalizing religious exemptions across every federal agency, from the Department of Education to Health and Human Services, the administration is effectively creating a parallel legal system where faith-based organizations can bypass the rules that apply to everyone else. The mainstream media is reporting the culture war. The Observer is looking at the contract. To understand why this is happening now, in February 2026, you have to look at the calendar. The midterm elections are 9 months away. The president's approval ratings are fluctuating. He needs to energize the base, and nothing mobilizes a voter base like the promise of a Christian nation. This moves the goalposts significantly. For 50 years, the Johnson Amendment prevented tax-exempt churches from acting like super PACs. This commission is expected to recommend the de facto suspension of that rule. It signals to every pastor, rabbi, and imam in the country: if you preach politics from the pulpit, the IRS will look the other way. It is the weaponization of the Sunday sermon for Tuesday's election. Let's look at the deep dive data. The commission's mandate includes reviewing burdensome conditions on federal grants. This is the key. It isn't just about cultural symbolism. It is about the money. Billions of dollars in federal contracts for social services, adoption agencies, homeless shelters, addiction recovery are up for grabs. Under the guise of liberty, this commission will likely pave the way for religious organizations to receive taxpayer money while maintaining the right to hire and fire based on faith. This is a massive transfer of public wealth into private, religious infrastructure. It effectively privatizes the welfare state and hands the keys to the president's most loyal supporters. Furthermore, this aligns perfectly with the current Supreme Court supermajority. The administration knows that any legal challenge brought by civil liberties groups like the ACLU will eventually land on the desk of a court that has already signaled its willingness to tear down the wall of separation envisioned by Thomas Jefferson. The legal architecture is already in place. This commission is just the demolition crew. The risks here are societal fracturing. By elevating religious liberty above civil rights, the administration is setting up a direct constitutional collision. We are already seeing states like Oklahoma and Louisiana pushing for religious instruction in public schools. This federal commission gives them the cover they need to go further. It validates the integralist movement that believes the state should be subservient to the church. Critics argue this is the first step toward a soft theocracy. Supporters argue it is a return to the founders' intent. But the reality is that when you mix religion and politics, you don't purify politics, you corrupt religion. You turn faith into a voting bloc and God into a campaign manager. So, what happens in the next 30 days? Watch the Department of Education. If the commission recommends that federal voucher money can flow unrestricted to religious schools that teach creationism over science, the transformation is complete. The public school system, the engine of secular democracy, will be defunded in favor of a fragmented faith-based network. The verdict is grim. The wall of separation was built to protect the church from the state and the state from the church. Today, that wall didn't just crack, it was bulldozed. And on the rubble, they are building a ballot box. This analysis stops where the mainstream news begins. If you want to go deeper, you know what to do. Subscribe.